origin of a true legend, the Ramayana. To really understand one of the world's greatest epics, you've got to go back to the very beginning, to a time when the world was in crisis and a divine hero was desperately needed to save it.
You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the sheer scale of the Ramayana. It's not just a story, it's this vast lake of wisdom, an epic so immense it's considered vaster than the ocean. It's been a cultural force shaping lives for thousands of years.
And while its roots are firmly planted in India, its journey across the globe is incredible. It shows you how a powerful story can cross any border, not with force, but with the pure power of its ideas.
I mean, look at this. The story's appeal is it's universal. It's been translated everywhere, from Europe to Asia, staged as a super popular play in Russia, and it's literally woven into the fabric of folk art in places like Indonesia and Thailand. This didn't happen through conquest, it happened because its core themes, things like heroism, duty, and love, they just connect with people no matter where you're from.
Okay, so to really get why this story needed a hero, we first have to understand the crisis that was gripping the world. A dark age of, well, unrighteousness was dawning, and it was all because of one tyrannical figure.
And at the heart of all this darkness was the demon king Ravana. He was so drunk with power, he was about to crush the three worlds under his feet. His tyranny was so absolute that no one, not gods, not mortals, dared to even think about standing in his way.
The situation was so desperate that even the earth itself cried out for help. See, Ravana's tyranny wasn't just physical. It was like a spiritual poison, corrupting everything and leaving humanity completely defenseless.
So, the big question is, right? Where were the gods in all of this? Why didn't they just step in and stop him? Well, because Ravana was protected by this powerful divine boon, a gift of invincibility from the gods themselves. But, and this is key, it came with one single, critical loophole. Ravana's boon made him basically invincible against gods, demons, and pretty much every celestial being you can imagine. But, and this was his fatal mistake, in his supreme arrogance, he totally overlooked what he considered insignificant creatures, humans and monkeys. And that single blind spot, that became the key to the whole divine plan. The god Vishnu declared he would use Ravana's own arrogance against him. He would incarnate as an ordinary human, the very creature Ravana despised, to shatter his pride from the inside out.
Now, for this whole plan to work, the stage had to shift from this huge cosmic scale down to a very human one. And it all begins with a righteous king, a powerful ruler who, for all his glory, was suffering from a deep personal sorrow.
This was King Dasharatha of Ayodhya, a ruler from a great and noble lineage. But for all his power, all his wealth, he had no son, no heir to carry on his legacy, and he was heartbroken, grieving that his legendary dynasty would just end with him. So his guru advises him to perform a sacred fire ritual, a yagya. But here's the catch. The one sage who could perform it wouldn't respond to a big show of power. The king had to go to him not as a ruler, but as a humble seeker. As his guru put it, blessings are only poured into an empty bowl.
And King Dasharatha, he follows these instructions perfectly. He sets aside his royal ego, he approaches the sage with pure humility, and he brings him to Ayodhya. And this profound act, setting aside his pride for the good of his people, it sets the stage for an absolute miracle.
And the king's humility pays off, big time. The great ritual is performed, and right at its peak, a divine being literally emerges from the sacred fire. He hands the king a vessel of celestial sweet pudding. Dasharatha gives this divine offering to his three queens, and pretty soon the entire kingdom has a reason to celebrate.
4 princes are born, each one destined to be a glorious ruler. Queen Kausalya gives birth to Rama. Queen Kayeki has Bharata, and Queen Sumitra gives birth to twins, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. And right from the very beginning, they form these unbreakable bonds, Rama with Lakshmana and Bharata with Shatrughna. They were so close, people said they were like one soul in 2 bodies.
So there you have it. The divine solution has arrived on Earth. Vishnu has been born as the Prince Rama. But you know, a royal birth alone doesn't create a hero. The question that really defines the rest of this entire epic is this: how is a legend forged out of hardship,
out of duty and out of sacrifice.